morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. One of us is bundled up, the other one is not. It's actually been a beautiful morning here we had this morning. We had the kids out. We fired up the greasy old triple. Went for a lovely little sled tobogganing down the hill. And I fell off the toboggan once and got buried in the snow, getting pulled by the skidoo. Got buried in the snow, had to get the skidoo to come around and get pulling out. I was kind of wedged in there in an awkward position. Anyways, here this afternoon, we're gonna have some time in the shop. I gotta get that ski rack mounted on there that I've been meaning to do. Just haven't done it yet. I think once I'm done that, the wife is probably gonna go inside and hopefully do some detailing. This is the wagon we're taking to Banff for New Year's for a couple days away. And we're bringing the in-laws with us. So it's gonna be me and the father-in-law, the wife and the mother-in-law, and then 2 kids in the back. And the little kids are gonna have their iPads and their headphones. I'm thinking I might need my headphones too, but we'll see. The mother-in-law is a bit of a nervous passenger. So we made it, what did we drive? Like 2,000 miles or something all around the UK. There was a lot of gasping and shrieking. Anyways, these are what we're putting on today. We'll get them on the top, clamp on the skis so we don't tie up any unnecessary cargo space in the back. So much more room for activities and awkward conversations. All right, so the roof rack's on, skis fit. That's pretty awesome. You just snap them up in there and it just clamps down. Triple happy teddy bears. I'm sure it's gonna be noisy as all get out going down the highway like that. The wife was in there with a shop vac. Kind of a funny story about that shop vac. I bought her an air compressor for, I think it was her birthday or anniversary or something like that. Anyways, she didn't think she needed an air compressor. So she bought me a shop vac. And I can unequivocally say that she has used both the air compressor and the shop vac considerably more than me. So, for the win. So the wife and I were joking yesterday. At least ways I thought I was joking. I thought we were joking. She informed me later she was not joking about getting a second snowmobile. She went for a rip there this morning on the old 700 Mountain Max. And she come back in the house and she's like, "Is that speedometer right?" And I said, "Well, I've got no reason to think it's wrong." Turns out she was clipping through the field at 90 kilometers an hour. So it's a good thing there's lots of snow there. Lots of snow. There's a good 3 feet, almost 4 feet in some spots where it's drifted up there. Down in the bottom, because if she would have hit one of them anthills doing 90k an hour, she'd have been more than Frosty the Snowman. That would have been a bad time. But anyway, so yeah, here's the plea to the internet. Looking for another unicorn. I'm looking for something that's early to mid 2000s, like mine's a 2003. She said she doesn't want something as big as mine, like 700. So say 600 or lower, early to mid 2000s, electric start, but also a pull start. I need to have both, right? I want to have the ease of being able to hit the electric start, but I also want to have the logic that says, hey, if I have a dead battery suddenly or electrical issue, I can still pull start it. And here's the stretch. I want to do all that for under $3,500. Now, it'd be great if a guy could do that and get something that hasn't had 3 motor rebuilds. And you know what I mean? Like it's been just rode hard and put away cold kind of thing. Just find something that's lived in a shop its entire life and been putzed around, a little bit of what we do, kind of cruising around, just gliding around, pull a little bit of toboggan here or there. Maybe you just don't need it anymore. Looking for, $3,500 or lower would be fantastic. Probably don't want to get lower than, 25 to 3,500, I think is the range. You get below $2,500 and you might start to get stuff that's, the seats are all ripped up and things aren't working properly. It runs rough or whatever. It just becomes, I don't want to buy problems. I don't want to pay money for problems. I want to buy something that's still in good shape, but not new enough that I need to spend a lot of money to maintain it at the same time. Anyway, speaking of spending money maintaining stuff, so I had this brilliant idea last winter that I was going to get one of these big totes full of wood chips. I got one big tote from a fellow that runs like a swamp mat grinding business. And I run through all of that, and I wasn't too keen on it because there was a lot of dirt and all kinds of mixed material in there, and it wasn't very dry and whatever. Anyways, run through. It was free. It didn't cost me nothing. Then I got this bag from a fella, a local carpenter. I say carpenter, but he's more of a, like, he builds sheds and stuff. He mills his own wood and then builds sheds, like all out of rough cut lumber and stuff. So he gets lots of this free. It's not sawdust per se, like it's not dust, but it's also not shavings. It's kind of in between. And I thought, well, that would work pretty good. And I paid, I think, $35 or $40 or something for a full tote. But it's just a royal pain in the butt to come in here and scoop it all out, and then pack it over there with those bales of shavings. Like they're $9-10 or whatever. They cost a bit of money, but they're kiln dried, and you can go in there with a knife and just cut that bag and then your job is done, right? So this is free. I should say free, like it was $39 or $40 or something like that, like I say, for the whole bag. So almost free when you terms of volume wise versus buying the bales. But I just don't know, like when you do the math on what's the value of your time, I'm really leaning towards maybe this isn't worth it. Maybe I would just rather have another expense on my whatever for the accountant to add up at the end of the year, and not have to deal with all the nonsense. And not to boot, like this thing can't sit outside all the time. I left it outside for a little bit and then it got wet, and then I got to leave it underneath the ceiling fan to dry off, and it never really dries off properly. So I had it in the barn earlier this year. Now I got it back in the shop, and it's just tying up a bunch of floor space. If the guy had the bales, right, I can put them all in the lobby. I said the lobby, like there's the front entrance way of the chicken coop. They can all stack up there. I can put like 9 or 10 of them up there, and I'm good for a few months. So I think I might actually be going backwards. I think I'm going to go back to what I started off with. My buddy over there, millionaire farmer, Robin, Bloom Enterprises. He sells them, and I think I'm going to have to pay him a visit here in the next day or two before we head to Banff, or maybe right after we head to Banff, but before he heads off to somewhere tropical for his winter holiday, and have to pick up a pallet of them or something like that, and just get out of this nonsense game. It's I can spread them shavings in the barn with a banana knife, just hold the bag up with the tractor, and then just cut the bag open and kick everything around and quit farting around with it. Anyways, long story short, where I was going with all that is the amount of work that a guy's having to put in right now because of the humidity swings. We've had some really, really high humidity, but a lot of temperature fluctuations at the same time. It's now humidity's really, really high in our chicken coop, and we're definitely nitrogen heavy in there, so it's starting to smell. So now I'm trying to carbon load, right? So this is the challenge, right? I'm trying to carbon load, where if a guy went in there with a pocket knife and some like 5 or 6 of those bales and just and done, right? The chickens would do the work for me, but I got to fish all this out one handful at a time out of this bag, and it's getting kind of old.